Welcome to SplunkTalk, the Splunk podcast that is all Splunk and no junk. I am your co-host Burch, here with co-host
Hal. and you added the word "co" in there, and I knew it was coming, but it threw me off because it's not what we usually say. You can just say
we talked about the fact that we've like devolved into my word choice almost sounding like Hal was not of equal co-hosting.
Just roll with it. Whatever feels natural to you.
Yeah.
Just roll with it. Yeah.
You feel natural to me.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
We are back live streaming, which is new.
Yeah.
I mean,
and we
the
have
podcast is new, but the live streaming part is.
The live stream is definitely new. And so we dropped an episode November 6th. This is going to be episode either, I think, 13 or 14 or
27 or whatever.
205, depending on.
So we have
we can
9 from Conf that we'll drop in the feed. So we'll number it later.
So we'll get
fix it in post.
We
have editors now.
Yeah. We're like rolling in cash money. I actually was listening to I was organizing our files and I was listening to our first episode of season 2.
Never do that.
And boy, the audio quality changed. Who'd think Who would think that this does not compare with this?
Yeah. I mean, it was a good purchase, that microphone there.
Yes.
What is that microphone? I don't remember.
This?
Yes, a microphone.
This?
The microphone.
Yeah, the microphone. This microphone, not that they're a sponsor. This microphone is a Focusrite Scarlett 2.
Awesome. Okay.
Studio. Speaking of microphone, one of the mouthpieces of our company is our Splunk4Good organization. You like that segue?
I was wondering where you were going with that.
Yeah. And so that's actually our guests for today. We're going to have them on in a few minutes. We'll have Ryan O'Connor and Chris Chan. And we'll learn all about not only the timely things that are going on and what Splunk4Good is doing with that, but just even broaching all of the good conversations that are for Splunk and for us. But before we get into any of that, Hal, how are you doing? And what is your background today? The question everyone wants to know.
Well, first of all, I want to mention that there's 18 people in the stream. That's kind of neat and new. I mean, we did the live stream thing at Conf, and that was exciting. And it was all around the big corporate event, and so forth. And I've been wanting to do live stream for the podcast for a while. So now, cool. There's like people here. Hello, people.
Oh, they must have subscribed to the Twitch and
get
the notify.
I know a couple of them. Yeah, they might have, which is the whole point. You asked me a question about my background.
How you doing?
I'm doing okay. I think that I'm very glad that it's Friday. I mean, basically every Friday for the past 11 months or whatever, or 8 months, whatever. Man, Friday is like so happy that it's here.
When it's not Friday, do you feel like you have a case of the Mondays?
Well, sometimes and I play that song fairly often.
Manic Mondays?
No, not that one. The other one, The Cure.
Blue Monday.
No, not that one. The Cure.
Blue Monday.
Really?
Covered later in the 90s.
Okay. I'll have to look it up later because I don't believe you, but that's fine.
How does it feel to treat me like you do?
I'm going to just move past this because I feel like I can't really go as deep as you.
Oh, that's New Order.
Okay, so I am right and you're wrong.
Always, but
Okay. All right, whatever. The point is,
we can't say the name. Say the name of the band that covered it, though.
Okay.
It's not work appropriate.
Okay.
For everyone listening in, for the one person who is sitting in an office right now listening on this with speakers.
So, for the background right now, I've got 2 different chat windows, and some people are typing in the green room chat, and there is a public chat, y'all. So, feel free to type over there. I'm talking about
our producers.
Our producers.
Anyway,
so my background, yes, somebody did guess it. It's from Mad Max, the remake, which was awesome. Did you see that movie? It was 2-3 years ago now.
I think I did. I also saw the Charlize Theron one.
That's the one I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I saw the other one then.
And Bane.
You will
Brady.
see this movie when I tell you you can see this movie.
See, I didn't even know that you had a what's his name impression. What is that guy's name? Is it Tom?
Bane. You just said Bane.
Yeah, I know. You got the reference correct.
Oh.
I can't remember the name of the actor.
Well, I think trying to remember that'll just become the bane of our existence. So what else is going on?
Oh, nothing.
Nothing.
No, I've been thinking a lot about DSP lately. Data stream processor.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. I mean,
that's
one
Splunk.
of the products that, yeah, it's Splunk. I'm talking about the day job.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we got into junk and now we're back on Splunk, so that's good.
Well, we can. We probably want to get to our guests here before the top of the next hour. What have you been up to lately?
Yeah. I mean, same kind of thing,
That's boring.
Been trying to take some. Lately.
To be honest, you're like my 9-year-old. It's like, hey, how was school? Did you do anything? What's going on? Nothing.
Okay. I'm gonna take 9 as a compliment for my age and maturity. Usually, I get lower. I've actually been working with an integration in Splunk, an integration into another system that we use. So I've been very happy playing around and writing some Splunk searches lately. Blew off the cover on my SPL, if you will. The dust went boop, 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 boop.
SPL 1 or SPL 2?
Oh.
Ooh. Did you know that was a thing? I'm serious. Did you know that was a thing?
I did know because, as you know, we both overlapped on our work in DSP. And DSP is one of the offerings that uses SPL2.
Well, I mean, I make no assumptions for whether you comprehend what's in a meeting that you're in or not. I mean, and you should feel the same way about me, to be honest.
Did we just reveal that?
Say the quiet part out loud?
Yeah. Wait,
look, if you're in a group meeting, if your
and I sit there and I go like this,
Well, if your camera is off, people are most likely multitasking. The larger the meeting, that's how that works.
When do you fold your laundry? Because that's when I fold my laundry.
Yeah, I mean that's a good time to fold laundry for sure. Yeah. I haven't folded laundry in I don't know many years. Oh, wow. Oh, good Lord.
Well, I hope you do the laundry even if you don't fold it.
Laundry does get done.
Okay, good.
One of the people that does the laundry is in the chat right now.
Okay. Well, enough about airing our dirty laundry. Should we bring in
probably get to our guests.
Yes.
I guess something having to do with data. Good data. Excellent
good data. And here they come. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Chris Chan and Ryan O'Connor.
Woo! Yeah, Ryan O'Connor.
All right. Welcome.
Sorry, Chris. Ryan didn't know that he's supposed to reciprocate the applause back to you.
This is just how it usually goes. Yeah.
It's very asymmetric. I'm Ryan's biggest fan. Yeah. By the way, you guys have a really nice green room. You guys give like free drinks and like nuts. This is amazing.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. Yeah.
Yeah.
We want to make our guests comfortable.
Yeah. We want you to feel like you're, mi casa es su casa.
At a distance, at very, very far distance. Where are you guys based, by the way?
So I'm over in Connecticut, East Coast.
We're in Connecticut.
Southeastern, like Mystic.
Oh, I'm like 30 minutes away from you, dude.
Wait, really?
We've talked about this before, I think.
What street?
I didn't know you were that close, though. Where do you live?
I will. I'm in the greater New York City area, and
I see.
Although I got you to reveal where you are in public on recording, I will not do the same.
It's fine.
Are we not doxing people this podcast?
Yeah, can you paste a Google Maps link in the chat?
Yeah.
I'll paste the lat lawn at the end of the call. So
awesome. Well, welcome, Ryan. Chris, where are you based?
I'm based here in Santa Clara. I'm about a mile from our Santana Row Splunk office, so very convenient.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Very, very convenient, except for the last 6 months.
Hey, can't complain about the commute either way, pre-pandemic or post.
That's true.
So have you been to the Winchester House?
I have not.
It's right there.
Why don't you explain what is the Winchester House?
I've never been.
I know.
One of you explain. I've heard stories. I've seen it from the Splunk office across the street.
Yeah.
My understanding is the inventor of the Winchester rifle, e.g., the gun that won the West. Their estate was there, and I believe the
widow.
The widow
was
very superstitious and believed that like they have to keep building and building to avoid evil spirits or something like that. I think so. I think there's a movie recently that they actually filmed there called Winchester. So it was filmed there.
But I heard it had stairs to nowhere and things like that.
Yeah, it always made me think of like when a little kid is building something out of Legos and they just like keep adding on blocks. Like when you look at the house, it just looks like rooms were just like bolted on. Oh, yeah. I guess I was offensive.
We lost Chris.
Chris is out of here.
Yeah. Ryan, how long have you been with Splunk?
I've been with Splunk for 2 years, but I feel like I've been loitering around Splunk for a long time. So
how is that? Give us, tell us your origin story. Your orange story.
I was a customer back in 2010.
And that's good vintage.
That goes way back, actually.
That's
vintage.
That's Splunk like 3.
Vintage. I don't think it had a UI when I first started using it. Yeah. And then so then I worked for a couple partners, and then eventually found my way onto the emerging products advisory team at Splunk, and now I work on Splunk4Good as a senior engineering manager, so helping out with our impact technology program.
Awesome. So, we will dig into all of those aspects, but let's get a little bit of the same from Chris first.
Yeah.
You want
what's your origin story? Origin story.
You're gonna have to learn how to pronounce that word, Burch.
I like saying it wrong, and I can't pronounce it wrong correctly.
You be you.
Your orange story.
So I'm a lead engineer on the mobile team at Splunk, or the Connect Experiences team. I work on iOS and Android. I'm currently working as product management there. I think my paths crossed with Ryan because he was on the emerging technologies group, and so mobile at the time, I think 2 years ago, was definitely emerging tech. I work under Jesse Chor, who was a guest of yours, I think, during conference. So I work under him. Before that, Jesse and I came from Yahoo. We worked on a bunch of mobile apps there, including Yahoo Finance. So we try and bring some like consumer tech goodness and design over to Splunk as well. So,
awesome.
And one thing about Ryan is that why we get along so well is that we have a mutual love of soup dumplings.
Okay.
Yeah, Ryan, tell us about soup dumplings for those of our viewers that don't know what they are.
They're my one true love. That's all I can say. That's my answer to like if you could eat one meal for the rest of your life, probably soup dumplings.
So now you're from the north, you're from the West Coast. I'm from the South. Dumplings has a specific meaning to me, and it's chicken and, not chicken and dumplings. Does that have any relationship whatsoever to what you're talking about?
I'm a big fan of soup dumplings, which is just wild. I didn't even know about these until probably a year ago. It's actually soup inside of a dumpling.
Oh, okay. This is something.
I've had that. You like bite into it and it pours into your mouth.
Huh.
Yeah, and if it's too hot, it just burns everything. Everyone burns.
Horrible.
It's an adult version of Gushers.
Yeah, pretty much. That's a really good analogy, and they're savory.
Horrible.
They're sweet.
This is really horrible. I'm not sure that I've. But
if I understand correctly,
where the best ones come from.
Splunk4Good, your mission is to protect the world from burning their mouths on soup dumplings. Did I get that right?
You got it. Yep.
Okay. All right.
That was your public service announcement, brought to you by Splunk4Good.
So, who does want to lay out the mission of Splunk4Good? Do we go to Ryan for that one?
I
see Chris is pointing at you.
Yeah. So I can at least talk a little bit about our our impact technology program. So that's where I work, and yeah, we're really focused on using data to drive impact essentially. So what that means is really just helping out veterans, nonprofits, higher education via our Splunk Pledge program. So we donate free licenses and training to all of the aforementioned groups, so veterans, higher education, and nonprofits. So we give them a 10 gigabyte license and then access to fundamentals 1 and 2. And so from there, the hope is that they can use Splunk to solve some of the really unique problems that they have or that they're trying to solve. And some examples, like at Conf this year, we talked about Compassion International a lot, and so they're doing some really awesome stuff with Splunk. So yeah.
So we're talking about, at the highest level here, it's the charity outreach organization. It's a part of Splunk, and y'all have done some cool programs in over the past several years. What's the one that you focused on this year, or probably a couple? But what have y'all been really focused on lately?
Sure. Yeah. One of our big projects this year was around COVID-19, actually. So.
Oh, I'm sorry. What is this thing that you speak of? I haven't heard of it.
I don't know if you've heard of it, but it's yeah. So yeah, we started that back in January. Yeah.
Sorry, I interpreted that as like, oh yeah, we started COVID-19 back in January.
Good one. Good one.
Yeah, worded poorly.
Oh, it's not. We're not laughing. We're not laughing about it yet because we're all still locked at home. Gotcha.
Too soon, man.
Yep.
Because too soon. Because we're not done with it.
Yeah. So yeah, we started. Well, by that I mean we started working with the data back in January, in partnership with our global security team. And I started building dashboards on COVID-19 when there was a couple hundred cases, and so it's just shocking to see the number of cases there are now, and those dashboards are still around. So the same stacked column chart that I've been looking at for the last 10 months or so.
So I got some tech questions. Like, what's our data feed? Like, what's that connection like for the COVID data?
Yeah, so we're actually utilizing data from Johns Hopkins University.
Okay.
So it's all publicly available data.
Do they have like a REST API or something, or drop a CSV? Like, how are we?
Yeah, they post their data up on GitHub, and there's a couple other sources that we're utilizing as well that are made publicly available there. So yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like, we had to do some, and I've actually used this technique a couple times, like writing these TAs that actually pull down submodules from GitHub and things like that. So it's a unique problem that I never had to solve before until I started doing some of this public dashboarding stuff.
So like a regular, like almost like a mod input, like something that just goes and downloads the data from their GitHub entry, and
exactly,
where you can index it.
So if you don't mind, I want to redirect us for a moment here and point out that people that are familiar with Splunk, especially Splunk Enterprise, know that you cannot take your Splunk dashboards and just snap your fingers and now they're on the internet shared with the world.
Sure.
So there was a lot of stuff that had to happen before you could start doing much of anything public. Can you talk about that for a few minutes? Make
public how you made it public.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Actually, I don't even know if I touched on that in this stream yet, but when I talk about the COVID-19 dashboards, we started working internally with our global security team. We eventually decided that this was kind of data that we should disseminate further. Like, it's public information that people should be made aware of, basically. So,
of public interest.
Of public interest.
I mean, I've been wanting us to do something like this for quite a long time, and the technology wasn't there, at least with our native platform. So, what did you guys whip up?
Yeah. We open source the projects. I have to give Siegfried Hupauer a lot of credit there. He's kind of the original creator of this dashboard publisher, at least one of them that we're going to talk about. So yeah, he's the brains behind the operation. I kind of went around in Slack and said, hey, anyone have any info on making public dashboards? And he reached out, and we've been working together all year. So that was one aspect where we did like our web dashboards. And we can probably paste that link into chat, I think, maybe.
And so when we're talking
be
about public dashboards, like we're saying you don't have to go and log in, right? Like these dashboards are just, you go to the site and you're in Splunk looking at these dashboards. Is that something customers can do on their own environment? Like, can they just toggle something off and automatically be prompted to log in? Or is this like a custom thing we did because we have the people that wrote the darn thing?
Yeah, good question. It is not anything you can just toggle on in your environment today, but it is an open source project with a README file and things like that. And there's even a conf talk that we did on this year. So we did open source it, and then at the same time, we did a conf talk. There's a video demo in there, so all the bits you need to do this. Essentially, we're kind of making use of the Splunk REST API, pulling back dashboard definitions and then publishing them via a Next.js app. So,
okay, so let's break this down a little bit. We'll spend a couple minutes and then get to you. I know you've got another project you want to talk about, but
yeah.
DashPub is the one, the link that I dropped in the chat there. So.
Yep.
Where do you start? Do you start by making something in Splunk Enterprise with data that's in Splunk Enterprise, or is this separate from that?
Oh, great question. Yeah, that's exactly where you start. Yep. So use your Splunk Enterprise installation today, and we have a new. So this is actually based on the new dashboard framework. So Splunk Enterprise Dashboards Beta. Have you guys tried that out yet?
I have.
We've talked about it a couple times on here, right?
It's going to eventually come out of beta. I'm excited to be a part of that project in a small way.
Sweet. Did you make any cool dashboards on there yet that you want to talk about? Or?
All. But
do you like dashboards? I like dashboards.
I love dashboards, and we'll show a demo here in a little bit as well. Okay, so you start with Splunk Enterprise. You've got a recent version that's got support for the dashboard, the Universal Dashboard Framework. And then what? What do you do with DashPub? Because I know the output of those dashboards, or rather the framework itself, that is React.js, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yep. So basically from there, like you have your kind of dashboards created, you can install DashPub. There's instructions on how to initialize it and everything, but it's going to ask for your Splunk URL. So this is REST API, so we're talking, management port, things like that. So you'll have to have some kind of user that can log in, and it'll, from there it should be pretty much a walkthrough. And I can give a video demo of that if you want to check it out. Probably easier to just show than.
Yeah, and when you log in, what's your password?
Oh, hold on. Let me put that in chat too.
Change me, right? Change me.
Yeah.
Or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Mel Brooks reference. So, how did that answer your question?
Sure. Yes.
Well,
do we want to do the demo, or do we want to roll to the other? Yeah,
well,
I got the demo. Then we could go ahead and do that now.
Yeah. Why don't we get that ready? And then just to connect the dots here, so Ryan, you've got these dashboards and everything, and Chris, am I correct in that you have accelerated this consumption of these dashboards in the mobile world, given what you were saying about your mobile background? Is that your piece in the puzzle here?
Yeah. So I think maybe it's in February or so, Ryan reached out and said, hey, we got these dashboards coming out. It's definitely of public interest. And how do we roll these out for mobile as well? Because that's a pretty convenient way of consuming this, whether it's on, Splunk TV, like on smart TVs, or on our mobile devices or tablets and that sort of thing, right? So we want to address other form factors. We talked about it in February, I think, and then I think the lockdown happens in mid-March, and
March 13th, Friday the 13th, and we're recording this on
Friday
14th, 5, 15,
13th.
Just cue that up for you.
Yeah.
I don't know what day.
Totally read that softball. So we basically gathered a team together to start working on it. I think basically the day after the lockdown, and our mobile team in 3 weeks got something out the door pretty much. And I would say while it was a lot of hard work, it was definitely a way to just rally people together. It's like, okay, like there's always uncertainty. What the heck is going on? People are nervous and worried about the future. But when you can work on a project with purpose like this, it really kind of pulled the team together. And it really helped our team figure out, okay, how do we work remotely? Because like our whole team, like we're all on the same floor in Santana Row. We had to figure it all on the fly. So, huge kudos to the mobile team for, just unifying together and just getting this thing out so fast. So
there
something
seems to be something like really funny about hearing someone from the mobile team be like, "We weren't used to working mobile." Like you would think like you'd be the most proficient at it. You're on the
try coding on this.
Well, it's funny when you were saying like, and we all started working on it. Somehow I got this visual in my mind of like almost like a surgery, like an operating room with a bunch of engineers all leaning over and like working on a phone, like they're playing Operation. And I'm like, that's not how development works. What is going on in my brains? You're on that team, right? Or are you on the Splunk4Good team?
I'm on the Splunk mobile team, so
okay.
So I roll under Jesse Chor, head of mobile. Ryan rolls under legal for some reason. Don't know why, but he does.
Splunk4Good is. I'm under
Android or iOS, Chris.
I probably manage both, so let's be honest. You've pinged me a couple times before for some feedback, but yeah.
I think it's interesting how
I have an Android Pixel right here. I've got my iPhone. I've got everything on my desk.
All right. You get half credit.
I love all my children equally.
Okay, that's an okay answer. Thank you.
We want a 6 out of 10. So, one of the texts I went to figure out was, if all of a sudden we had thousands of people trying to hit our Splunk instance at once, it would just melt down, right? Mm-hmm. Or we'd have to scale up a huge thing. So we basically took the idea of the exporter that Ryan had and built one for mobile because the objects that we have are mobile data objects are a little bit different than the ones that consume for web. And then we cache that data onto a CDN because the data doesn't update all that frequently. Ryan, what's our update rate? Is it like...
I'm not even gonna get it wrong, spitballing here, but but
let's say an hour, every hour, maybe every couple hours. So
say something around there. Yeah.
So there's not a lot of value in running these SPO queries live, right? So what we did was basically we would run the data set, get the results, and then cache it. And then also because we have things like form inputs, we actually have to run like every different permutation, just cache those results.
Okay. I was wondering about that.
Yeah, so it's kind of like a hack, but what that allows us to do is just pre-cache these data sets. And as you select things on the mobile, you just grab the right data set and not have to run these queries live.
So every time, like whereas on a traditional, or typically the behavior would be every time you change a form input, it reruns the search, it reruns all the panels. You're saying we actually ran all the permutations and did the caching because the underlying data set isn't like streaming data that's coming in and would change.
Right.
Yep. And we tackled the same. We had to do, it's just funny that we kind of both tackled these problems separately in a sense. Like we had done our publishing beforehand and Chris was doing it on mobile and we both kept bumping into like, oh yeah, like these are the same things that we're going to have to tackle. So,
What do they call that? Parallel evolution, where two animals create the same evolutionary trait, but through different means?
You just blew my mind.
So we've got Ryan's screen up here, and I know you brought something to show.
Yeah, so this was again, people should definitely check out our conf talk because it's more thorough, but Dev1665B. So the good thing about conf this year, right, we can go back and look at.
That's my favorite stormtrooper, by the way.
Mine too. But we can. Is that true that we can go back and look at anyone's conf talk for the last, at least this year?
3 years, actually.
Last 3 years.
Conf online. We'll have a link in the chat here momentarily.
Yeah.
Sweet, awesome. Okay.
So Dev1665B. Return your blaster for inspection.
Have you seen The Mandalorian, by the way, or is it just me?
You're in good company.
Yes.
Okay.
But let's not talk season 2 just yet. Not until.
Okay.
Nope.
But I was gonna say, you guys have like a proper show now because you have a guest with like a movie clip that they brought on, and like he's setting it up. So you guys are like super legit now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roll the tape.
Yeah.
Let's roll the tape.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Who uses tape anymore? We're being quiet like it's going to play audio. It's not going to play audio.
In a time.
Yeah, if you haven't seen the new dashboard framework, that's what this is. So that's a Splunk dashboard that just showed up, which is pretty cool.
So I think I have to interrupt. So is your server named Boba, like Boba Fett?
I think it's more like boba, like tea.
Like milk tea.
Oh, I'm disappointed because all of my servers in my lab are named after Star Wars things. So all the indexers are planets.
I don't own this server, and I don't know if Siegfried is in chat, but it's his server, so it's up in the air, right? It could be T or Bounty Hunter.
Let's believe it's Bounty Hunter. All right, resume tape.
No. Let's have the audience in chat vote what they think it is.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
But you have to use an emoticon of either the T or Boba Fett.
Exactly.
So yeah, we basically, like I said, this is going to kind of prompt you, like, what do you want this project name to be, the folder name, and then, yeah, it's going to connect into your Splunk instance, right? So, yeah, and ask for using the password. So this is a good call out where it is going to need to connect back to your Splunk instance to pull back data. So we made a user that kind of had really restricted rights and things like that, and that's just something that you always need to think through when using the REST API. Least privilege and things like that. So just one quick call out. And yeah, you can select which dashboards you actually want to publish as part of this. Now,
so is he doing this on the server that the Splunk instance is running on, or is this on the search head, or what?
Yeah, you could do this from any server realistically. It doesn't even need to be the same one as long as it has connectivity to your Splunk environment.
So it acts as a client or a proxy back to it. So you can instantiate a standalone instance to act as, okay.
Yeah, so you could run it on the same box. That way you're not like opening up any ports, to your Splunk environment.
Hey, don't tell me what I can do.
You do what you want.
This is the other thing that I'll mention is, I don't know if we actually show it on here, but we do have an integration with Vercel, which is a CDN layer as well. So like Chris mentioned, they had to think through scale, and we had to think through the same thing. So how do we get like thousands and thousands of people? So right here, I'm just showing like a basic Next.js app, but as you saw, if you go back, there's the integration with Vercel as well. So we can we can basically publish it out to a CDN layer, and that's ultimately what's going on with like the COVID-19 dashboards and things like that. Is all those users can hit it at the same time because we're publishing those data sources and stuff, like the dashboard definitions and everything to the CDN layer. So, and yeah, basically we can, you can live modify these things, and this is kind of what this demo is going through right now. I'm pretty sure I'm a little off topic of the.
But no, we don't have to make it work. I mean, this was the best effort thing here. But can you show us what it looks like to that part of the video?
Yes. So actually,
Well,
it looks like one of the dashboards. This actually it's running on localhost right now. If you were to do what we're doing in the next step here, I think I just basically skipped ahead when I was talking, but. Yeah, so actually I do show the Vercel integration. So if we actually do publish this to Vercel, what will happen is you can create a project in Vercel, and it'll actually spit you out like a URL that you can hit to view the dashboard and everything. So that link right there actually should still be up, but public dashboard-demo.vercel.app. Those are UDF dashboards in a sense. Gotcha. Even though these don't look like maybe what you'd think of with like a simple XML dashboard.
That would be the point.
New and improved, right?
This is the new dashboard framework. Okay, so that was basically the concept here of, okay, I've got a dashboard in Splunk. It's not the old school. This is the new school UDF dashboards where you can do pixel perfect design and a lot of other fancy stuff. And then you take DashPub, it connects to your Splunk Enterprise environment, pulls down what it needs, basically wraps up this into a kind of a standalone page, and then optionally you can do some CDN stuff to publish it widely.
Yeah.
Can you do that again, but to the tune of the Bone song? The hip bone connects to the Versa. Versa connects to the
I like it.
Splunk Enterprise.
All right, before we run out of time, though, I did. You have a whole other project that we wanted to talk about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I vote that we switch to that one.
Okay.
I am sick of this one.
Got the video.
I'm gonna let Chris talk on this one because there's some cool tech in there as well. Like not just we talk mobile, web, and there's some other stuff too. So we'll let
cool. Do we have a demo for that, or can we shut the demo screen off?
Oh, I can shut the demo's done.
Oh,
yep.
Ryan, you could just hit the dashboard on the hub, I guess. Just show the audience it, and then we can we can post.
While we got it. While we have it up.
It's visually very beautiful. Shout out to our design team for helping us out with this one.
Ooh.
So this is our election dashboard. So we spun this up 2 weeks ago. Now, Chris, I don't know. It was a blur, right?
Why? Is there an election?
3 weeks? Yeah, I guess there was something going on. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was not aware.
I just found out. I'm like, oh, that's happening?
Okay.
Yeah, I guess a few of us were just biding our time.
Oh, yikes. Do we delete that? No?
Oh,
I'm getting a nod, yes. I'm getting a nod, yes.
I guess that one doesn't trump the other jokes.
Budgets? Yeah.
See, I'm equal opportunity punished.
Very good.
Legal just gave the thumbs up, so you're good. You're good.
These are all built. I mean, they're UDF dashboards in a sense. They're published to a CDN, but you could build all of these today in that new framework. So that was our. We get this is Chris's kind of talking point right here that I'm on the far right there, the mobile view. So let you talk about like all the apps that we have that are connected to this and different ways to view this dashboard.
Yeah. So this experience was definitely a bit of a nail biter, shall we say? So people were perpetually, look at the results and that sort of thing. So definitely had a mobile experience around this. If you look at our blog post as well, we also have a VR experience as well. They could go out if you sign up for our VR beta. You can check that out as well. So yeah, we just took again.
I've only seen it. I've seen what you did in the mobile app. For some reason, it escaped me that you had a desktop version of this. I don't know why.
Oh, well, yeah. Here we are. Surprise.
I will look up the URL for that blog post. The Splunk in the election, is that the name of it?
Yes, that's
yes.
right.
Sweet, found it.
Yep.
Here we go.
Where SEO wise, like really good. Like you look up Splunk and vote, it's like #1. So
nice.
Good job on the SEO team.
Oh, hey, well done. No, I like this. All right,
Yeah.
and there is a link to the real Splunk4Good thing right there. So y'all.
Yeah, Ryan, do you want to open up that election link? Because I want to showcase the VR one. Because I don't have a headset to show you folks, but you kind of just open up that link as well.
Yeah,
one question in chat about the shall we say the heritage of the data? How do you ensure the data is nonpartisan? Where does this data come from?
Oh, the data that's on here?
Yeah.
Well, one of mommy data
is
and a daddy data.
This data? Are we doing polls? What's going on here?
Sure. Yeah. So this, I'll talk the polling ones. That's most straightforward. We're using 538 as a source. So 538 we showed a couple things in here, which is pretty cool. Far right is, I learned a lot about polling just doing this dashboard, I'll be honest. They keep individual polling results from every single poll. So we were showing just the last 5. But if you were to click on...
Just to educate people. So first, 538, if I remember correctly, is almost like they have grown in credibility because it was like a data-driven approach on polling by taking aggregate of other polls, so they weren't necessarily conducting their own poll. Is that accurate?
I think there's some. I think they apply some discipline where there had not been discipline before. I think that's very fair to say.
Okay.
Yeah.
They were the ones that were bringing some of the science into what has, traditionally been a lot of people guessing. So at least you can kind of, and they do a great job, to their credit, of explaining what they're doing in terms of statistics. And so I appreciate them for that, without getting into any of the politics and how credible they may be. I appreciate, what they're bringing to the discussion.
And then from a data feed perspective, is this another one of those wonky GitHub solutions or a REST API? Like how are you spelunking it?
You betcha.
You betcha.
Wow.
I
like that reference.
They have a GitHub. What's that?
Bring out the old school. That was 2008, right? Was it 2008?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, we McCann. Okay. Can we answer? So, is it a REST API? I didn't know that they even had that.
Oh no, yeah, it's GitHub as well. Yeah, I had to do a similar kind of thing, which I'll tell you why it lends itself nicely is because people tend to store their data in CSV files in GitHub repositories, and you can actually use a symlink to that CSV file, like in the lookups directory in an app.
Oh, so that way you don't have to like create a connection per se?
Yeah, there's no like indexing going on or anything. It's just like that lookup table is, as long as your script is running and doing that poll, then that lookup table is always up to date, which is cool. So yeah, so that's the technique we went with. And
clever.
Yeah.
Okay, so I interrupted you. You were telling us, I think you were saying I learned a lot about polls during this, and then on the right hand of the screen we have.
Yeah, just the latest polls. This is the 5. We did the 5 most recent, basically that 538 had, and they, we included like their grade, like 538 actually grades these polls on a bunch of different criteria, and so that was just something that I learned through this, is that even though there's all these polls out there, that there's ones that are maybe more reputable, less reputable, things like that.
Yeah, and that was kind of what I was getting to earlier, was that there was no transparency or discussion of that. You could make a claim, but what does that mean? My poll says, so there's a lot to it.
Like I could go out there and just be like, okay, this is Burch's poll, and that sounds weird.
I'm just gonna
and then back in the day it would have been like, well, we don't know how credible this is or isn't. So they're doing that, and then I guess I'm assuming some sort of weighted calculation.
Yeah. So this average, this up top is like their average score, and that's based around all these individual polls that they're actually collecting data around. So trying to bring some transparency to this data, let people, make their own informed decisions and things like that. So that's what this dashboard is about.
Dumb question here. I mean, you kind of answered it, but I want to like dig into it a little bit. Like, what are we bringing that has not been brought already by, there's a bunch of different companies and media institutions that have dashboards. Is there an angle to this? That actually came out wrong.
What makes this dashboard different from all other dashboards about the same information?
Yeah.
This one allows us to learn that Joe Biden is a junior.
I did not know that, actually. So thank you for that.
Yeah. I'll say that obviously, yes, there's some data that you're going to find other places too. Like that's no secret or anything like that. We did try to bring some unique things.
I mean, I'm just looking at the, for example, national polling average table, and I see some call outs when specific events happened. That's interesting. Yep. That's giving some context that you might not see in every chart.
Yeah.
This thing will blow your mind.
So we were using a website called, I think it's called the Election Project. It's in the URL on the bottom of the screen. But one interesting thing we were doing was, daily they're just posting, here's the number of ballots requested, here's the number of early votes. We were actually collecting that over time. And so then we can actually use a modified version of our DashPub app to actually show this over time. So we can kind of play it back and see, like, October
yeah.
4th, how many early votes were there?
And this is something that I don't think everybody appreciates, that, we think, we mean the Splunk, the company, what we do here, we're watching data, machine data, as it comes in over time, usually doing analysis as it comes in. That gives you the ability to do what you just said, which is to, think of things and what they were in a point of time, look at trends over time, things like that. If you go to random, Atlanta Journal-Constitution, I live in Georgia, they might have a neat dashboard for what are the COVID statistics right now, but they're not putting at trends over time. It's not, they don't think about that necessarily. And that's what I think that's interesting that you just brought that up.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, like the early total early votes cast, like we were super interested to see what that growth curve was over time. Like, was it accelerating? Was it going to decelerate? You could definitely see it kind of spike up as we got closer and closer to the day, right? So
and then plateau, yeah. So I'm sorry, were you saying that this time-lapse rendering, is this something in Splunk, or is this almost like the web archive where like it's taken snapshots of this page over time and is showing us that?
This is like you're talking about the slider bar at the top? Yeah, so that's like in addition to DashPub. So if you watch the conf talk, we talk about this a little bit. Like
I'm sorry, I didn't do my homework.
We did put a link in chat in Twitch, though, for the dev. Was it 1665B is the conf talk?
Yeah, this is similar to what Chris was talking about, where we had to actually, so since we're on a CDN layer, our searches are pulling back all permutations of the data. And this slider at the top, you can think of as like a custom form input that we built on top of our dashpub for this instance. And so what that's really doing is like selecting like, time equals.
It's exactly like what you said, Burch.
It's snapshots of the page. It's not like rerunning
it's the way back
searches it's like the Wayback Machine.
Yep. Yeah. Same. Yeah.
Oh, there's a question here to define permutations for lay people. Can you give us all the different permutations of the definition of so permutations and combinations, just being like, if you go back to that page there, think about like I have a dashboard, and in this context, permutations is like I have a dashboard and there's different form inputs, and so I could have the first input on or off. I could have the second one on or off. And so that means I could have both off. I could have both on. I could have one on, one off, the other one off, the other one on. And so all those different potentials are what we would call a set of permutations. Is that fair?
Yep. That's kind of fair.
Here's like a super concrete example because we were thinking about this. So imagine you want to see how many ballots were cast in your state. And we have a drop-down menu that says, Alaska, California, Texas, etc., right? So we would take all the Alaska results and just cache that first. Then all the California ones, cache that. Then Texas, etc. So we basically just capture all those data sets, and therefore it's an exhaustive permutation through all the possible answers we would have. So
because someone could come to the dashboard and select any of the 50 states from the drop-down. Actually, 50 plus, right? Because some of the territories no, there is no vote. I don't know.
Well, DC is going to be its own thing. So
this was a huge civic lesson for us too. We're like, what's some of these weird quirks? Why do they get one vote and this one doesn't?
Yeah, because they don't have senators.
Yes,
but they have representatives, right?
I believe that's the reason.
Yeah,
I'm Canadian. I have no idea.
Yeah, I think your electoral votes are equal to the representative districts plus the 2 senators that you have.
Interesting. Okay.
Can we get an answer for that?
I think so.
I'm getting a nod.
Is there someone actually there?
No.
Well, someone will correct us if we're wrong, and they'll tell us that we're horrible.
That's what chat's for.
Yeah.
Do you guys get mean tweets?
Well, we will now. Thanks for bringing it up.
Because I would love to see an episode just Hal and Burch reads mean tweets.
Yeah, we could read insults to each other that we received. Okay, so what what else do we have here within this domain, election 2020 Splunk4Good.com? We're looking at the time lapse. We had another one on the main page.
The polling, and well, actually, there's a couple other things kind of baked in there, but yeah, we had our sort of, when election day happened, dashboard.
Yeah, what's that a map of? What place is that?
Europe?
You got me.
Yeah, so that's the US, and we did the 2016 results below that, just so people could kind of,
yeah, that's
take a look. Yeah. And this was fun. This is a lot of very small pie charts that I meticulously went through and put over each state. So
if we have anyone listening from out of the US, ME1 and 2 and any that's is that Nebraska and
that's
Maine?
Maine 1 and Maine 2.
Yeah, because
Nebraska
not because
won
there's
that.
two different states, but because they've split their electoral vote distributions into different portions, if you will.
yeah, and we only brought most of those out to the side because, like, I live next to Rhode Island.
Tiny.
Yeah, yeah. It would cover all of Rhode Island for sure. So
Yeah.
So I want to hit a question in chat.
Yeah.
When will Splunk be able to do this type of dashboarding natively?
that
You
is
can actually, I mean, that's kind of what you're looking at. Now, this is a abstraction in front, but just to underline, we kind of talked a little bit at this earlier, but yeah, the new dashboard framework can do some pretty awesome stuff. Can it do this? Is this, exact screen, Ryan, can you do that in the new dashboard framework? Or
I mean, if you're talking about like the actual visuals on the dashboard, that can be done today.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. That's
I saw Ryan do it live, so I can vouch for him. He's not making this up. It's not vaporware. I actually saw him like go in the editor because I'm like, hey, I need you to move this like 4 pixels that way. He did it. I'm like, okay, this is legit.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well, awesome.
Chris got a crash course.
Wow.
So yeah, so that's yeah. I mean, I guess as the only functionality that's not there natively in our product today is the actual publishing to a CDN layer. But so we did at least go through the effort of open sourcing what we did. So hopefully that's helpful to somebody,
Yeah.
Ryan, can you scroll down really quick?
Yeah.
Okay, Hal Burch. Gonna put you guys on the spot.
Yeah.
You guys like ME1 more or ME2 more?
Oh, come on. This is an apolitical session here.
Which
All
one?
of my mains I love equally.
Ah,
I'm a big fan of Maine.
Yeah.
Maine's
No,
cool place.
Nebraska on the other hand, they can go screw themselves. Just kidding.
Yeah. Nebraska.
Just Nebraska won.
So no, this is good stuff, and I'm glad that we had the opportunity to kind of dig into mobile. So Chris, do you want to kind of, how does this relate to what was done in mobile? I see mobile view right there. There's a QR code on that page.
yeah. If you scan that, and then Ryan, is there any way you could pull up the Splunking the Vote blog post, because we got some nice screenshots there as well.
Possibly. Let's I don't know if I have it. Yeah. I don't have the link over there.
Oh,
can
it's in
bring
private.
it up?
Oh,
Or is it stream? Can I bring up StreamYard? Or yeah, can we just pause the stream and I'll
It's a
grab
live
it.
stream, dude.
It's
I
a
mean,
live
like-
stream. Yeah.
Alright,
oh
let's go
gosh,
for
this
it.
is live? We're not going to edit this? Oh, the things I've been saying.
Let me just make sure it's the most recent.
Whoa.
Wow, that was trippy.
I was
was
trying to
quick.
avoid anyone having to see that.
Yeah. So if you scroll down, keep going down, you'll get some mobile screenshots there. Yeah. So
Ooh.
we've got this experience both on iOS and Android, and they're very similar in terms of like the data that Ryan was showing. We also just simplify some things, right? Because like we don't have like a huge canvas to display on, right? But a lot of the same data that Ryan showed you is available on mobile as well. Yeah, so we've got like the early voting stuff here. We've got election day results. It's kind of all there. If you scroll down a little bit further, A little bit more.
One of
We
the real
also
cool
have
parts.
VR here. So
Wow.
this is just taking advantage of the huge canvas space like in VR, and you could basically make almost like your own like CNN election war room there, and put tons of panels up and view that in real time as well. So you can definitely sign up for that, and it works on Oculus Quest and the Rift. So yeah, we built all the stuff in, again, not a lot of time. I think it was like 2 3 weeks to get this all out pretty much, and
Yeah, that is epic.
it's kind of crazy because we're laying down the tracks as the APIs become available, because it turns out, oh, election day, like how do we test those APIs until you get that data coming in? So yeah.
So this is the screen on the screen right now.
Mhm.
These are what dashboard panels, I guess, would be the Splunk terminology to use here.
Yep.
Okay. And you're then able to place them in virtual space,
Mhm.
whatever orientation you want.
Yep, exactly.
That's awesome. Now, is this in an app of ours, or is this an extension off of, like, I've only had experience with the Rift, where you have a room concept and then there's things that you can pull into it.
Yeah.
How does that? How do you get
Yeah, so
started?
this is the Splunk VR app, and inside the app we have kind of like a home concept as well. It turns out with like human cognition, it's actually really important that we have some kind of spatial anchor points and know where things are. Like where do I find these dashboards? And so a home or physical space is a really good way to kind of anchor all that. So yeah, so we have kind of this nice like homeroom area, and then you can place these dashboards where you want them. So yeah, so download the app.
We haven't really done much on the VR topic, and I haven't personally played with it. Is like right now people can make dashboards in Splunk that are a layout of panels. Is the VR setup the same kind of thing, or is it like, are you fixed in where things can be placed?
It renders simple XML dashboards today.
Oh.
Yeah, which is nice. And yeah, they're they load up and you can move them around, drag them. Like I put a video that's on LinkedIn the other day, but yeah, you can throw the panels up against the wall and stretch them, make them bigger, zoom in.
I've got
it's pretty impressive. Yeah.
So what was the name of?
Oh, Hal, your audio flattened out there.
Did it?
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the quietest I've ever heard him.
Yeah.
He's like whispering like a mouse.
Can you really not hear me that well?
It's just very, very, very soft. We'll all be very library quiet, and you ask your question, and then we'll respond.
Okay. I don't remember what my question was now. Thanks.
I think the question was, what happened to my audio?
Yeah.
So, we're coming up on the last few minutes here. So, I think we've covered. Well, why don't we go ahead and we can kill that feed and just see your beautiful faces, if that's possible. And then while we do that, oh, you remember your question?
Yeah. What was the name of the blog post that you're referencing now?
Oh, the blog post. We scroll all the way up top. It's called "Splunking the Election," so you can look that up on the Splunk official blog.
Yeah.
There we go.
And Hal and Burch, about our beautiful faces, we have to really give compliments to your hair and makeup team. Like, they were amazing to work with. Like, the definition they will bring.
Sometimes when
volume, like, amazing.
Yeah, sometimes when they work on our hair and makeup, it's so natural. It feels like it's our own hands.
I don't even feel that.
Out to you and time, Ryan. Which it's kind of obvious. Everybody looks at this picture, but such as
Hal, you know what it sounds like? Your interface lost power. Yeah. By the way, Your Interface Lost Power is my favorite technology children's book. So, just wrapping up some of the things here. We talked a lot about the COVID data, about the election data. There was a question out there about, is this something that people can do in other countries? And I think, both all three of those things are connected, because the reality is in all of this, like, and this is why I love these products. It's just data, right? It's just as long as you can get access to that data, be it COVID, be it a U.S. election, be it other countries' election, the fun part of playing with Splunk becomes just exploring it. And I know this sounds cheesy, but like that's where the name spelunking got adopted, was the idea of like, you don't know necessarily what you're going to find. You're going to put that headlamp on that is the search box and just start exploring it and uncover some really cool things. And if I'm not mistaken, what is it fair to say everything, all of the dashboards that we saw other than the virtual and the mobile were using the new unified dashboard framework?
Yeah. So, yep. So Splunk Enterprise Dashboards beta that's available on Splunk Base.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, they're all
I dropped the
utilized.
link like 8 times in chat, so
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Perfect. And I know some people that would, yell at me if we didn't put that link all over the place. So.
seriously, go check it out. The dashboard beta application, it says beta in there. It's an open beta. It's very stable. It doesn't really. It's basically just an extra visualization layer on top of Splunk. It doesn't affect your indexing tier or anything like that. Seriously, go check it out. There's some really
And
cool
it's
stuff
free,
you can do
right?
with it. It is
Totally
free. Yes.
Yep.
And fat free. It will not
Speaking
put on pounds.
Yeah, actually.
Splunking and taking deep dives, I gotta show us one thing, because Ryan, I think, is like the world's most interesting man. So we're working like really late at night, looking at verifying our election data and stuff like that. And he says, "Okay, guys, I need to peel off. I get up like really early in the morning to dive into the ocean." And we're like, "What?" It's like, "Yeah, I gotta gather some fish." And then I'm like, "What is going on?" So Ryan, like, tell us about that. Like, that was. You're the world's most interesting Splunker, at least.
Yeah. Is this one of your, as we say, your million data points? It sounds like you just got baited. So
I just.
this better be really interesting.
I volunteer at a local aquarium by my house, and I'm
The
a volunteer.
Norwalk one?
Mystic.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And I was talking over you. Sorry.
What do you do at the aquarium?
I scuba dive and I clean exhibits.
No way.
Yep.
That is
So-
actually pretty cool.
I was there this morning cleaning exhibits with a bunch of seals swimming all around me, and it's a good time.
Wow.
I
did
love
not
aquariums, and I didn't know it was like a volunteer thing.
I did not know you were an exhibitionist. Is that not what that's not what that word means? Oh, all right, never mind.
Yeah. It's what's that?
Right.
Are there things you can and can't do? Well, I'm like, what are the? Hey, I know how to scuba. What's step 2 there of learning to do this little hobby of yours?
Oh, I'm actually. Oh man, it's one of those sports or hobbies that you can literally,
You can dive really deep into it. Yeah.
So.
Well done.
Yeah, I've done a lot though. I went scuba diving in Madagascar for a month. So.
Wow.
I came up for air obviously during but I was in Madagascar for a month volunteering. So.
I know
Wow.
Ryan knows this, but Hal and Chris or Chris, do you know what SCUBA stands for?
Actually, believe it or not, I said the answer to this earlier today to my children while we were in the car on the way to school.
Really?
Yeah, self-contained underwater breathing apparatus. Man, come on.
Awesome. And does anyone?
Like, where do you think I went to school?
Duh.
Duh. Okay. We'll do one more. Anyone know what EPCOT stands for?
Oh man, I'm ashamed of this because I'm actually a bit of a Disney nerd.
Experimental Prototype Community of Tomorrow. It's a great, big, beautiful tomorrow. Okay. And that is the junk part that this podcast is not.
All right. So anything kind of calls to action, last words? Where do we want to send people as we kind of head into the end of the podcast? Chris, Brian, we've got a bunch of blog posts, a bunch of code for people to check out, a Splunk app, a couple of conf sessions. So actually, you guys came with a lot of material. That's actually pretty cool.
It's like a
I'm gonna
treasure
say,
chest for
I'll
this.
be honest. I feel like I gave all of our viewers a bunch of homework on this one.
Yeah,
but,
seriously.
And Ryan is also a professor, so he will ask you to submit your answers and he will mark your midterm. So he's also a professor
Okay.
and
I'm
a
gonna
doctor.
grade everyone, all the viewers. I'm gonna grade you on your your homework after this. So
Are you a professor?
I am actually, yeah, yep. I'm an adjunct faculty.
I was an adjunct professor for several years actually with a local university as well. So, and there's a
Nice.
couple Splunkers who dabble in that.
Oh, nice, yeah. I feel like I need to build a small, I don't know, Slack channel or some group around that because there's a few of us kicking around, you know.
Yep.
What I think just something that has been itching my brain this whole session. Where did you get that? Is that a tee? That T-shirt? I've never
Mine?
seen our logo printed on the front.
Oh, really? Yeah.
The long sleeve is that
It's
long
the
sleeve?
long sleeve.
It's long sleeve. Yeah.
Long sleeve.
Yep, that's it.
He's
Okay.
wearing it backwards.
What if we said that and then he was like, "Oh no, my pants too? Oh, not again." That's why you don't get dressed in
I
front
mean,
of
it's
the mirror.
dark, you know. It's,
Yeah.
Look,
It's
Wait,
New England. It's getting dark here, like 4:00 now. You know.
Yeah.
So
I knew there was something mystic about that area.
Ryan, one more thing. Since you're industrialist too, what is that thing in your background?
this green thing.
Yeah, tell us about that because that's got history.
Oh yeah, tell us fast.
Yes.
Yeah, this was actually a demo that was on stage at Conf 2018. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. This is a rebuilt version of it. I pretty much ripped it off of I don't know, Devin and Jesse took pictures of it and rebuilt it over here on the East Coast for my job at the University of Connecticut, like as a faculty. So I wanted students to get a hands-on experience with Splunk AR. So took all the pictures, got all the equipment, and rebuilt this bad boy. So it's for a future Twitch stream.
You are a Renaissance man. Well, now that I feel insufficient as a human being with my talents compared to yours, no, this was really great and really fun. We do have to wrap up. I'm very glad that we got to pull this off. We covered some really compelling topics, not only COVID and the election, but also really what we can do and what we're capable of. And now people can recognize Splunk4Good and know to look out for these types of things and to really check out Splunk4Good and how we're helping data make a better world.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you having us on.
And to the pointed question in the chat, could you just take this and apply it to other elections? Yeah, this is just data.
Yeah,
we just need data.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, I appreciate you having us on. We want to do more cool projects like this in the future and everything. So hopefully people watching reach out and we're always looking for cool topics to do similar things. So
cool. Well, as always, you can follow along with Splunk Talk. Check out SplunkTalk.com to find our feeds. And other than that, Hal, any final thoughts?
Nope. Just and I think actually there is a Splunk4Good on Twitter. We're on Twitter.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so if you have ideas maybe for what the Splunk4Good folks should peek into next.
Sure, yeah. Splunk4Good at Splunk.com, Splunk4Good on Twitter. Yeah, we're all over the place. So, or just find me, LinkedIn, email, whatever.
Cool.
Awesome. All right. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks. Happy Splunking.
Super fun.